The ground troops couldn't communicate with the fighter pilots. They didn't have UHF. The ground forces were using FACC mic, FM radios.
Yep.
The helicopter drivers were using VHF. The fighters were using UHF. So the FACC was the clearinghouse to get everybody ability to communicate rather crudely. The leader of a 8 or 10 piece band, but Tailwind, now there was a whole different animal. That's the only one I ever worked with where we had all the services involved with. You had the Army on the ground, Special Forces, the SOG troops, but we had Air Force, we had Navy, we had Marine, Air supporting them. The only thing we didn't have was Coast Guard. It was the deepest incursion they ever went into Laos. So it was outside the range of what we could do with the, normally we inserted them with, well, in the late, in 69, we were still using the H-34s, King Bees. Mm-hmm. Then they transitioned into the Huey helicopters, which were much better. And then we were supported by the, your troops are hauled by the Hueys, slicks, and then you had the Panthers flying the Cobra gunships. And we always had a brace of SPADs there, A1s. And that was your normal team group to put teams in the bush.
It only became a prairie fire when they declared an emergency.
Yes.
That would be your team that you'd
Yeah, when we put a team in, the goal was to put them in a remote LZ, some way distance from their objective, and have a cold insert where there was no gunfire. We picked up out a clearing far enough away that the bad guys might have heard the helicopters go over and say, those guys went someplace. We were not sure. Yeah. So I bet we got a team on the ground, they'd start hunting for them.
Yeah.
We didn't have the range, nor the State Department and White House authorization to go with a certain depth into Laos. And I've forgotten what that was. I would say generally we were within maybe 15 miles of the border, and we didn't have the range to go further. Well, we went so far in up there close to Shivane that it was out of range for our slicks and Cobras. The only thing we had in country were those Marine H-34s. They didn't have very many of those H-34s, and we used up a bunch of them in that operation. They were pissed off about that because we got some of them shot down. So we used the Marine heavy lift, and then we used the Scarface Marine Cobra gunships out of Da Nang. Because Da Nang was closer to where we were than Pleiku. It was a long way deep up there from Pleiku. But
you were, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were 40 miles into Laos, wasn't it, roughly? I would guess it was probably up somewhere, it was a long way. I guess it might not have been that deep. Okay. I'd have to look at a chart and see if I think I could still pick out exactly where we were if I had a chart, a terrain chart of Laos. Wow.